is 10:31. Hello, I'm Marvin Thomas. I'm President and CEO of Aerospace Federal Credit Union. I want to welcome you to the annual meeting of members and thank you for attending. Before we officially get started, I want to advise you that this meeting is being recorded, and by attending, you are consenting to being recorded. So, if you do not consent to be recorded, this will be the opportunity for you to log off or disconnect at this point in time. So I'll give you a few seconds to do that if you choose not to participate at this point in time. Okay, I suspect all those that are still on the call want to be here and to be recorded. With your invitation, you received the annual report in the minutes from last year's meeting. That's the information that's going to be covered during the meeting, so please have that handy at your fingertips. Also, as usual, just in a different format, we will have a prize drawing at the end of the meeting. However, this time it will be a virtual drawing, whereby all those who have attended the entire webinar will be entered into a drawing, and you will, if you are a lucky winner, aside from being a member of AFCU, you will receive an email from a third-party vendor that we're using. That vendor is snappy.com. If you're a lucky winner, you will receive an email from snappy.com and an opportunity that once you initiate that email, it will take you to a site whereby you'll be able to select a prize of your liking. So it's a little bit different than in the past, but the effect should be the same. A few more housekeeping matters before we get started. You notice on the screen here we have two icons here. We have a raise hand button and we have a Q&A button. These functions will be used during the webinar. The raised hand we'll use when motions are presented. And if we were in person and a motion was put before the attendees, there would be a call to make a motion, and someone would say, motion made, and that way we would acknowledge that motion was made. And then we would go about getting a second, and someone would shout out, second, and that would be noted. And then there would be all in favor on request, and all those that were in favor would voice their vote for that motion. And then there would be a call for any objections. We're going to do the same process, but instead of doing it through a vocal and getting a response back from you verbally, we're going to use the raised hand function. So when the motion is put before the attendees, someone will need to click raised hand to acknowledge that the motion has been made. And then when there is a request for a second, someone's going to need to click the raised hand icon to once again note that the second has been made. And then there will be a request from the host to vote. And then that will be an opportunity for everybody to click on the raised hand so that their vote can be recorded. There will be a brief pause to give everybody an opportunity to vote at that point in time. And last but not least, there will be an opportunity for any opposition to the motion. And likewise, you would click on the raised hand if you have any opposition to the motion. Then after that process is done, we will be informed verbally whether or not that the motion has been carried or defeated. So the next button is the Q&A button. The Q&A button, as it suggests, is for questions and answers. So during the meeting, if something comes to mind and you want to ask a question in that regard, feel free to type in your question and submit it. And then when we get to the to the end of the webinar, we'll review all the questions, and those that we have time to answer, we will answer live. If not, then we will answer them individually and get back to people accordingly. So now that we have all those things under our belt, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce David Christopher. Dave is the chair of the AFCU Board of Directors, and Dave will be hosting the annual meeting of members. So with that, Dave, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Marvin. Appreciate that very much. First, to get going here, we have to make sure that we have a quorum. And can somebody confirm for me that we have a quorum for today's meeting?
Mr. Chairman, we do have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you. So with the quorum, I'd like to call the meeting to order and get to our order of business. The order of business, I have to explain a few things here. The Federal Credit Union bylaws stipulate the order of business at the annual meeting. However, we'd like to motion to deviate from that order in order to allow us discretion in conducting the meeting. And so first order of business here is I would like to request a motion to give us the latitude to deviate from the standard order of business today.
Mr. Chairman, the motion has been made.
Okay. I request a second to that motion.
We have a second.
Very good. Thank you. So at this point, I would like all who are in favor of the motion to raise their hand in favor of deviating from the standard order of business. Okay. Do we have
Mr. Chairman, the all in favor of the motion have been recorded.
Oh, very good. Now I need to ask anybody who is opposed to the motion to raise their hand.
The count of all members opposed has been recorded, and Mr. Chairman, the motion is approved.
Excellent. Very good. So let us proceed with the following order of business. The annual member meeting minutes, the introduction of volunteers, the actual core of the business meeting, and then there'll be a call for any unfinished business or new business before we get to the Q&A session that Marvin described earlier. Okay. Very good. So what I'd like to do in order to facilitate the meeting is to omit the reading of the minutes and accept the meeting minutes as presented. So in order to do this, we need a motion. So,
Mr. Chair, we have a motion.
Excellent. Need a second to the motion.
The motion has a second.
Excellent. All in favor of the motion to omit the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented, please raise your hand at this point.
Mr. Chairman, the count of all members in favor of the motion has been recorded.
Excellent. Now need any opposed to the motion to raise their hand at this point.
Mr. Chairman, the count of all members opposed to the motion has been recorded, and the motion is approved.
Excellent. Okay, let's proceed. Well, the first thing I would like to do is introduce the volunteers. Again, the board is made up of all folks who are volunteers to serve the credit union. These folks bring a lot of passion and to the meeting, to their duties here. And so in addition to myself, we have Christopher Woods as the vice chair, James Ford as the treasurer, Tammy Choi serves as our secretary. Other board members include Lauren Kim, Charlotte Azar Morrison, Ken Lee, Steve Leontis, and Mary Moy. We have also introduced board member emeritus, and so we're very happy to have them continuing to serve the credit union in that capacity, and that includes Susan Adams and Joe Strauss. And finally, our supervisory committee is made up of Anthony Steer, who is the chair, as well as Brenda Eichel, Leslie Otaki, and Terrence Yo. So these are the volunteers. And now I'd like to turn it over to Shar to provide the nominating committee report.
Thank you, Dave. I'm representing the nominating committee today, and in accordance with the Aerospace Federal Credit Union bylaws, the nominating committee was appointed by the Credit Union Board of Directors to identify individuals qualified to represent the members of the credit union as a member of the board. So in discharging this responsibility, the nominating committee set forth a slate of candidates. In addition to the following slate of candidates, a notice was sent to all qualified members advising them of the opportunity to run for an open position on the board as a petition candidate. No petition candidates were received, and in accordance with the credit union bylaws, the slate of candidates as presented are elected to a 3-year term by acclamation. And those nominees are, as you see here, Lauren P. Kim for a 3-year term, Ken Lee for a 3-year term, and Mary Moy for a 3-year term. So congratulations to those 3. And that concludes my report. And I'll turn the meeting back to you, Dave.
Okay, thank you, Shar. I'm pleased to report that 2022 was just another outstanding year for the Aerospace Federal Credit Union. The credit union continued to meet the needs of membership, even as the world changed around us and we emerged from the COVID-19 pandemic. The membership was also resilient in the sense that they continued to support the credit union, be committed to using the credit union for both their savings and borrowing needs. Also pleased to report that we continue to add new members to our membership roll. Altogether, these things truly reflect that the credit union is fulfilling its mission, which is to assist our members to achieve financial success. During the past year, the AFCU continued its commitment of returning value to the membership. That value commitment took many different forms. One of the ones I'd like to point out is the AFCU Visa Platinum credit cards. This is an industry leading rewards program on this card, where members can earn from 1 to 5 reward points or a 1 to 5% cash back on their purchasing dollars. But the AFCU also had several other initiatives that were aimed at rewarding members for using the products and services of the credit union. One of those is the Visa debit card that the credit union has. It features a monthly cash flow drawing. In addition, the credit union sponsored several member appreciation events over the course of the year, with the focus on bringing our membership together and celebrating our common bond as members of the Aerospace Federal Credit Union. I'm really pleased at where we are today, especially in terms of the safety and soundness of the credit union. I get the privilege as member of the board to see that firsthand, but don't take my word for it. The credit union continues to receive the highest ratings from the regulators. Once again, this reflects the membership and its commitment and the alignment of the credit union with the industry slogan of people helping people. I really need to add my thanks to my fellow board members who are, as I said before, volunteers who are all passionate in their support of the credit union for their contributions, and to the AFCU management team and staff who are the ones that are providing the value and service directly to our membership. We all take responsibility for your financial success, and we take it very seriously, and we have comfort in the knowledge that the credit union is a safe and secure place for you to both save and borrow. We appreciate the opportunity to serve you and look forward to working with you together as we continue to achieve our vision of a better tomorrow. With that, I would like to turn it over to our treasurer, Mr. James Ford.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Jim.
Thank you, Dave.
Floor is yours.
Welcome, everybody. Can you put the chart up, Marvin? 1 second, I got some on the screen here. Okay, welcome, everybody. This is the key balance sheet elements of the credit union's performance for 2022. And as Dave mentioned, balance sheet is strong and we're well capitalized. And so I want to emphasize that. As we look at the total assets, you can see we ended the year with the total assets of $387 million. Basically, we're down about $40 million or 9.5% from what it was in 2021. The main reason for this was really the regulatory requirements to adjust investments to market value. So it's really required under generally accepted accounting that we required, and we adjust the market value of investments down. That's the main driver there. But even though that assets are down, you can see that, of course, the increase in shares, loans, and reserves or capital, which are shown, are very positive. So again, looking at member shares, you can see that we're up to $377 million, about a $2.4 million increase over 2021, or about 0.6%. Member loans ended at $101 million. We're up $7.4 million from 2021, which is a 7.8% increase. And then our total reserves, which is retained earnings and capital, basically we ended at $42 million, which is $1.5 million above where we were last year. So while assets are down primarily due to the accounting adjustment, we can see the growth in member shares, member loans, and total reserves showing a very strong balance sheet at the end of the year, and a very positive indication of a very good year, as noted by Dave. Next chart, just to kind of summarize some of the income performances as it relates to that. And most of the data that I'm showing is actually available in detail in the annual report that was also provided to you separately. So as we look at the financial performance, you can see the revenues for the year were $9.7 million. That's up 10.9% from a year ago. Of that amount of revenue, $6.3 million was allocated to operating expenses. And most importantly, 1.9 million was returned to members in the form of a dividend, which is slightly an increase over what it was last year. In addition, net income for the year was $1.5 million. That was added to the retained earnings reserves and resulted in a capital increase of $42 million, as I showed on the previous chart. The corresponding net worth ratio is 10.86% and represents a regulatory classification of a well-capitalized credit union. As far as FY23, the outlook, growth, we're looking there'll be more growth in members' share deposits. Loan demand is anticipated for 2023, and the credit union balance sheet is well structured to accommodate a wide range of interest rates. And now I'll turn the meeting back over to Brenda to report of the Supervisory Committee. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jim. I will be reporting on behalf of the Supervisory Committee at today's meeting. In compliance with the Federal Credit Union Act, the Supervisory Committee retains 2 CPA firms. First is RSM. They're retained to conduct internal audits of many of the operational areas of the credit union, mainly focusing on regulatory compliance and risk management. The second firm, Richard & Associates, has been retained to conduct an independent opinion audit of the credit union's financial statements and business practices. To date, both firms have reported and discussed their results with both the Supervisory Committee as well as the senior management team. And I'm pleased to report there are no significant areas of concern identified with respect to either the operational practices or the performance of the credit union. Additionally, the credit union's financial statements were found to conform to the generally accepted accounting principles of the United States. And if desired, they're available for review at the credit union. And with that, this concludes the annual report of the Supervisory Committee, and I will pass the meeting back to Marvin for the message from the President.
Thank you, Brenda. Also, I'd like to thank Dave and Charlotte. You guys did an outstanding job. So thank you. As you guys will notice, every year we have an opportunity to put together an annual report for you. And this year, the theme for the report is Members First. And actually, all the images that you see on the front page of the report are members of the credit union that have been fortunate enough due to their patronage and use of credit union products to have won a prize, a cash prize. So congratulations to all of them for making the credit union all that it is. What you see in front of you is our pyramid of success. This is something that we hang our hat on as a credit union in terms of how we see the business and how we deliver member service to you. And at the very bottom of the pyramid is intelligent banking and outstanding service. That's our tagline. That's our rallying cry as we go about doing business and providing you with service. And we believe it's a reflection of you, and that something that intelligent banking and outstanding service defines for us, and how we provide service to you. In the middle of the pyramid is, as noted, that our mission is making sure that you achieve financial success. By achieving financial success, that in turn helps the credit union be successful too. Then at the very top of the pyramid, as you can see, it says PFI, Preferred Financial Institution. That's recognition that we understand that you have a choice, and it's a very powerful choice that you can do business with a number of financial institutions out there. But we hope that if we deliver on our AFCU tagline of an intelligent banking and outstanding service, and fulfill our mission to make sure that you achieve financial success, that when those opportunities present themselves for additional financial services, you would choose the credit union or provide the credit union with that first option for that type of financial service. Looking at this pyramid, if you look at the 3 sides of it, I view it being bordered by, first and foremost, the members on one side, the board of directors on the other side, and at the base of the pyramid would be the AFCU team members. And the pairing of these three, the members, the board, and staff, it creates a level of synergy that allows us to be successful going forward. And to that, I want to be able to say thank you to the members, the board, and staff. They come to work every day and put forth the effort to make sure that we can deliver on what we represent to the members each and every day. So I want to indicate that sometime back in November 30th of 1961, a small team of AFCU employees got together with the notion of people helping people, pooled their money together, initiated and started the credit union that still exists today. And by and large, it's based upon that commitment that we stand tall and be able to deliver service to current members and hopefully for generations to come. So with that, thank you. Thank you for your membership and thank you for your continued patronage of credit union services. And with that, I will turn it back over to Dave.
Oh, thank you, Marvin. Excellent. So a few things we need to wrap up here. First is if there is any unfinished business that we need to discuss. So this is a call for any unfinished business topics.
None to report.
Good. And is there any new business?
We have a raised hand. Is there a question? Mr. Chair, apparently nothing to report for new business.
Very good. Then let's move into the Q&A session. As Marvin noted earlier, we have that Q&A function in the Zoom function. So please take advantage of that.
There are currently no outstanding questions at this time, Dave.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of the planned meeting. At this point, though, we need a motion to adjourn the meeting. To have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, the motion has been made.
Excellent. Do I have a second to the motion?
We have a second, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. So all in favor of adjourning the meeting, please raise your hand at this point.
Mr. Chairman, the count of all members in favor of the motion has been recorded.
Very good. Now I need to call, is there any opposition to the motion? Again, please raise your hand to register any opposition to adjourning the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, the count of all members opposed to the motion has been recorded and the motion is approved.
Excellent. So that adjourns the business portion of the meeting today. Over to you, Marvin.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you very much to all the members who have participated in the meeting today. You make a difference. Without you, we don't exist. So very many thank yous to you for your participation with the credit union. Remember, this is an employee benefit and one that should not be overlooked, and you should take advantage of it and use it on a regular basis. So as noted, we do have a prize drawing for all of those that have stayed on the webinar for the entire time. You are eligible to win. And as noted at the onset of the meeting, we're using a third-party vendor to actually coordinate the prize drawing or the awarding of the gifts. So if you are one of the lucky members to win, you will receive an email, and the email is going to come from snappy.com. So it's not spam. Be sure to look in your, if you don't see it on your desktop, look in your junk folder or spam folder. It may have gone there. But once you receive that email, there will be a link in there to take you to their site. And once you go to that site, there will be a number of prizes for you to choose from. So once you select your prize, and you'll enter some information about yourself, that they will package that and deliver it directly to your home. And you'll get an opportunity to reply to us any comments that you might have. So with that, I want to say thank you once again for attending the 2022 annual meeting of members for the annual report. I appreciate you guys being members of the credit union. You make a difference. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and go forth and have an outstanding day. Thank you. Bye-bye.